The battlefield stretched endlessly, a clash of alien forces and human allies teetering on the edge of collapse. Explosions tore the sky, and the ground trembled with the march of mechanical war machines. Soldiers moved in organized chaos, each action critical, each decision potentially fatal. Amid the turmoil, he observed, not the largest nor the loudest, but the smallest indications that others overlooked. His gaze settled on her, the alien woman everyone dismissed. Scarred, awkward, ridiculed for her appearance, she seemed fragile and insignificant. Yet there was something beneath the surface. Her posture, the way her eyes tracked movement, the subtle shifts in her hands hinted at awareness others missed. Most laughed at his choice, mocking his decision, but he saw clarity where others saw folly. He knew the difference between noise and signal, between superficial flaws and latent brilliance. His mind assessed patterns the chaos revealed. She anticipated small shifts in the battle long before others noticed, predicting minor enemy maneuvers with uncanny accuracy. While the soldiers around them acted on instinct or fear, he relied on observation, on understanding, on human judgment refined by experience. He chose her not because she appeared perfect, but because she held a truth others failed to see. Intelligence, perception, foresight, qualities the galaxy often underestimated in humans, guided his decision. Each step she took, each glance she cast, reinforced the certainty that she could alter outcomes in ways brute strength never could. Their alignment was quiet but profound, a recognition that potential often hides behind unattractive exteriors. Others dismissed her. He invested trust. The laughter of the crowd faded against the hum of machinery and the distant roar of engines, insignificant next to the strategic value he perceived. He weighed the risk and the reward, his choice an exercise in calculated intuition. This was not luck, not whimsy, but the application of human insight in a universe blind to subtleties. He understood the battlefield as more than physical terrain. It was a web of minds, reactions, and unseen possibilities. Selecting her was an act of foresight, a demonstration of human capacity to evaluate and act where others blindly follow. Her appearance would not define her contribution, her mind would. The whispers of mockery barely registered, drowned out by his certainty and clarity of purpose. In that moment, a quiet truth crystallized. Humans thrived because they could perceive the unseen, recognize the overlooked, and act decisively. She was the embodiment of what he valued: untapped potential, underestimated skill, and a mind capable of reshaping outcomes. The choice was made, unhesitating, informed by observation, instinct, and the patience to see beyond the obvious. While others judged by appearances, he judged by capability, by possibility, by the subtle hints invisible to all but the most attentive. This decision would ripple through the war, unseen at first, yet destined to shift tides in ways the galaxy would eventually notice. It was a human choice, simple, decisive, and profound, demonstrating the rare ability to see what truly mattered. The battlefield roared around them, yet clarity persisted. He knew the true measure of strength, and it lay not in superficial form, but in intellect, foresight, and the courage to act when others wavered. His mind cataloged every subtle indicator, every latent skill, every flicker of brilliance concealed behind imperfections. Others saw flaws. He saw strategy. Others saw weakness. He saw potential. The human advantage was perception, and he wielded it like a weapon more potent than any armament. This was the beginning, the first deliberate choice that would set the stage for victory not by force alone, but by understanding, insight, and human judgment. The galaxy underestimated humans repeatedly, but he would ensure this time it did not. Every movement, every calculation, every decision was guided by knowledge that she was extraordinary in ways hidden to all. In this choice lay the quiet defiance of expectation, the subtle assertion that humans could recognize truth where others could not, and act with precision, vision, and purpose. He chose her, and in doing so, affirmed the unique power of human insight. He trained her in ways the others never considered. While the soldiers relied on brute force and standard tactics, he introduced concepts that required foresight, anticipation, and adaptability. Each lesson was designed not to impress, but to refine thought, to sharpen her mind for the battlefield's unpredictable chaos. He taught her to read patterns, to sense enemy movements before they manifested, and to interpret subtle signals others ignored. She absorbed each instruction with rapid precision, demonstrating an aptitude that exceeded even his expectations. Skepticism surrounded them, yet the laughter and doubt failed to diminish her progress. Her unconventional perspective revealed solutions no protocol could dictate, her strategies proving more effective than any pre-written manual. Each exercise she completed displayed creativity and insight, highlighting the human ability to recognize and nurture potential in unexpected places. He orchestrated small tests designed to push limits, forcing her to adapt under pressure, to improvise when conditions deviated from prediction. She excelled, devising maneuvers that exploited weaknesses the others overlooked. Her successes were quiet but undeniable, and each calculated move reflected the impact of careful guidance. Human judgment was evident not only in his ability to choose her, but in the methodical development of her abilities, a testament to patience and understanding. She learned to anticipate, to manipulate positions, to control the flow of engagement with minimal resources. The human capacity for innovation proved superior to rigid routines and superior technology when combined with insight and observation. He observed without interference at first, letting her initiative reveal itself. Her mind operated fluidly, integrating information rapidly, executing decisions with precision that defied expectations. Every calculated risk she took reinforced his confidence. Every subtle prediction she made confirmed the truth he recognized from the beginning. Potential was rarely obvious to the untrained eye. He guided her in analyzing probabilities, assessing consequences, and calculating outcomes beyond the immediate, embedding in her the ability to lead without arrogance. Unlike others who demanded conformity, he respected creativity, reinforcing the human advantage of flexibility, comprehension, and ingenuity. Their collaboration became a quiet revolution, a demonstration that intellect and strategy outweighed appearances and superficial judgment. He encouraged observation over reaction, foresight over instinct, analysis over impulse. Each lesson deepened her understanding, honed her instincts, and prepared her to act decisively when stakes were highest. She learned to coordinate multiple variables simultaneously, anticipate enemy responses, and execute countermeasures that neutralized threats efficiently. The human approach emphasized thinking over following, insight over imitation, demonstrating that leadership derived from perception, not authority. Slowly, she transformed from an underestimated outcast into a formidable strategist, her competence growing visible through measurable results. Every success reinforced the principle that humans excel because they perceive nuances invisible to others, harnessing knowledge and experience to make decisive interventions. He reinforced this through constant evaluation, subtle adjustments, and encouragement that respected her intellect. Confidence and skill replaced hesitation and self-doubt, forging a partnership defined by mutual recognition of capability and understanding. The process highlighted the HFY ethos. Humans thrive in adversity because they combine insight, patience, and adaptability, achieving results overlooked by rigid or superficial evaluation. With each exercise, her proficiency became undeniable, her presence shifting the perception of those around her. What was once mockery became quiet curiosity, acknowledgement, and eventually, respect. He maintained focus on the ultimate objective, preparing her to influence outcomes decisively, to leverage her hidden power when the situation demanded it. Every maneuver, every strategic concept, every calculated decision was a testament to human foresight and the capacity to cultivate talent beyond superficial judgment. Her intelligence, once invisible to all but him, was now tangible, measurable, and ready for the trials to come. The transformation underscored the principle that humans see possibilities others cannot, act upon them with clarity, and achieve results impossible by strength alone. Together, Their efforts proved that unconventional choices, combined with patience, analysis, and insight, could overturn expectations and redefine the boundaries of success. He had chosen wisely, trained meticulously, and observed with unwavering attention, embodying the human advantage in a universe quick to underestimate. Her growth was silent yet profound, preparing the stage for decisive action that would validate every calculation, every risk, and every insight that had guided his selection from the very beginning. The foundation was laid, a mind prepared, a partnership forged, and an understanding that the most overlooked individuals could change outcomes when guided with discernment, foresight, and human judgment. The battle erupted with intensity unmatched, the enemy overwhelming in both numbers and technology. Yet his confidence remained unshaken, grounded in insight, preparation, and the ability to act where others hesitated. He positioned her at the forefront, not as a subordinate, but as a strategist whose understanding of probability and pattern exceeded conventional metrics. She directed small units with remarkable precision, issuing commands that accounted for enemy behavior, terrain, and timing simultaneously. Movements that seemed chaotic to others were, in fact, deliberate and calculated, exploiting predictable reactions while introducing variables the opposition could not anticipate. Each engagement reinforced the principle that intelligence and adaptability outmatched raw power. She anticipated counterattacks before they formed, setting traps that neutralized technological advantages and transformed disadvantage into opportunity. Soldiers once doubtful now followed her guidance instinctively, recognizing effectiveness even without understanding its origin. He observed silently, validating decisions that others would have dismissed, allowing human judgment to guide execution rather than rigid hierarchy. The tide began to shift, subtly at first, then decisively, as enemy formations faltered under the weight of her calculated maneuvers. Every success was compounded by foresight, observation, and rapid adaptation, hallmarks of the human approach to strategy. He did not intervene unnecessarily, allowing her to innovate, to adapt, and to exploit weaknesses overlooked by protocol-bound commanders. Their synergy embodied human versatility, the capacity to integrate intelligence, experience, and perception into actions with immediate impact. The enemy, confident in numbers and technology, found themselves responding to patterns they could not predict, their advantage diminished by insight rather than force. Each tactical decision she made was precise, minimizing losses while maximizing effect, demonstrating that perception and adaptability could dominate over sheer power. The principle was clear. Humans recognize opportunity where others see only danger, adapt strategies with speed, and act decisively, turning vulnerability into strength. He noted every nuance, every choice, every consequence, reinforcing the understanding that foresight is often the greatest weapon. As units moved in synchrony under her guidance, previously insurmountable obstacles dissolved. He had chosen wisely, relying on discernment rather than superficial assessment, leveraging hidden talent to achieve outcomes impossible for those blinded by expectation. Momentum shifted irreversibly, the flow of combat dictated by intellect rather than brute force. Soldiers began to emulate her decisiveness, adopting a mindset of observation, prediction, and adaptive response. She became a pivot, a center of strategic gravity, her intellect amplifying the effectiveness of human-led decisions across the battlefield. The human advantage manifested not in strength or technology, but in the capacity to perceive, evaluate, and act where others could not. Every maneuver she executed reinforced this. Every surprise success a testament to judgment that transcended conventional evaluation. The enemy struggled to adjust, reacting to innovations and countermeasures with delay, their superior machinery unable to compensate for a mind that anticipated each variable. His foresight, combined with her brilliance, validated the initial selection, confirming that perception and preparation outweighed superficial assessment. The battle concluded with a shift so significant that previously inevitable defeat became victory, achieved not through numbers, but through understanding, calculation, and human ingenuity. What was once underestimated became decisive, and what others ignored became the catalyst for triumph. He recognized the broader principle. Victories are earned not merely by action, but by insight, by recognizing potential where others see flaws, and by nurturing capability that transforms outcomes. Her influence reshaped the battlefield, the strategic advantage deriving from observation, analysis, and adaptive execution, all core human strengths. The success validated judgment, foresight, and the quiet discipline of recognizing hidden power. As chaos subsided, the results were undeniable. Humans could identify, cultivate, and apply potential to overcome odds that seemed insurmountable. Their collaboration proved the central truth of human capability. Intellect, foresight, and discernment create outcomes that brute force alone cannot achieve. The principles guiding the human approach were clear, evident in every calculated maneuver, every anticipatory decision, every shift in momentum engineered by observation and understanding. Victory was not luck, it was foresight, preparation, and the ability to see beyond appearances, demonstrating the enduring and unique advantage of human insight. The aftermath revealed the quiet power of human judgment. What others had mocked became undeniable proof of insight, foresight, and adaptability. She, once dismissed as inconsequential, now commanded respect through intellect and precision. Every calculation, every decision, every subtle maneuver she executed validated the choice he had made from the beginning. His ability to see beyond appearances, to recognize latent talent, and to act decisively became the defining factor in a victory that others believed impossible. The human advantage was evident not in physical strength or superior equipment, but in the capacity to perceive, evaluate, and act with clarity and purpose. The alien forces, once confident in their superiority, had underestimated a combination of judgment and innovation they could not anticipate. Recognition followed not from spectacle, but from results. His selection, based on subtle observation and understanding, transformed potential into decisive influence. The principles that guided him were simple yet profound: observe deeply, act wisely, and trust the capacity to achieve what others overlook. Those around them could now see that intellect, patience, and foresight could shape outcomes far more effectively than conventional measures of strength. Every soldier, human or alien, learned that hidden talent, when nurtured and guided, could shift balance, overturn expectations, and redefine the scope of possibility. He reflected on the nature of decisions, realizing that the true power of humans lay in discernment and courage, the willingness to act on insight where others hesitate. The victory was more than tactical, it was a demonstration of the human ability to interpret, adapt, and optimize in ways the galaxy seldom recognized. Her rise, facilitated by his judgment, symbolized a principle: true capability is rarely obvious, and those who identify and cultivate it determine the course of events. The results echoed across the Alliance, an example of how humans combine perception, patience, and decisive action to shape outcomes. Each strategic decision, each carefully measured risk, confirmed that human judgment was a force in itself, capable of guiding not only individuals but entire operations toward success. He knew that appearances deceived and that true power resided in insight, preparation, and the application of knowledge to unforeseen challenges. This understanding elevated humans above mere participants. It made them arbiters of possibility, capable of reshaping expectations and outcomes through intellect and observation. Her presence, once derided, now demonstrated the multiplier effect of human judgment. The right decision, applied with understanding, could convert weakness into strength, invisibility into influence, and underestimation into triumph. The Alliance, previously reliant on predictable strategies, now recognized the value of unconventional thinking, the benefit of observation-driven action, and the impact of judgment informed by careful insight. He remained quietly aware that the human advantage was not flashy, not immediate, but enduring, a force that could quietly shift tides, elevate the overlooked, and achieve what others deemed impossible. Together, They embodied the principle that insight and discernment surpass superficial metrics, that careful evaluation can unlock hidden potential, and that humans excel because they perceive possibilities others miss. Their collaboration set a precedent. Victories are won not by the obvious, but by recognizing what is unseen, cultivating what is hidden, and acting decisively when opportunity arises. In the end, the lesson was clear. Humans triumph not through sheer power alone, but through vision, understanding, and the courage to choose wisely where others fail to notice. The battlefield, once chaotic and uncertain, now symbolized the enduring impact of perception and judgment. Every calculated choice, every nurtured talent, every foresight-driven action proved the human advantage to be both subtle and decisive, invisible yet transformative. The galaxy might underestimate humans, but those who observed closely understood that true capability resided in insight, adaptability, and the determination to act where others could not. The story of a dismissed alien woman rising to influence, guided by a soldier's judgment, would become a lasting testament to the power of human discernment, ingenuity, and strategic foresight. Their legacy confirmed an eternal truth: humans see what others overlook, act where others hesitate, and achieve what others deem impossible, shaping not just battles, but the course of history itself.